Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Final Whistle podcast, where once the final whistle blows, the real game begins. And with me today, my co-host, Aku Adekunle Abaman City. And we're here to review two of EPL. Adekunle, I don't want to start with your team because you're smiling right now, and I don't want you to be gloomy and everything.
Whichever way, you are the king.
Chelsea West Ham.
You're the king of the week. You're topping the table. You've won 5-0.
No, Chelsea is the king of the week.
Call the shots.
Chelsea West Ham. Chelsea West Ham game. Chelsea went away to the London Stadium and they were able to come back with 5-1, winning 5-1. West Ham scored first, and then Chelsea hit them back 5 goals. The highlight of the whole game is that Palmer could not start because he was injured. But I used to with the whole showing, the whole 90 minutes plus change that happened in the game, I used to thinking West Ham is going to go to relegation and Chelsea has a chance to fight for the title.
If they don't do anything real quick, to be honest, West Ham, I don't know what they need to change. I'm not the manager, but something is obviously wrong. Not because they got rattled, or I'll say they got defeated by Chelsea. It's unexpected. I don't think even Newcastle on their day. I don't think they have the material to stand Chelsea. You understand? This is Chelsea after all. But if we've looked at the way they've started the league and then again going to 5-1, let's give them time. I don't think Chelsea 5-1 should be a reason for us to write them off completely.
So it was easy for Chelsea. Chelsea dominated both ends, both sides of the pitch. João Pedro had a game, and Estavio was able to. He dazzled, and he came away from the game.
Yeah, like you said, Palmer didn't start. It might be a good one that they finally had to play without Palmer. Even if they were forced to do it, I think Estavio filled the gap and then João Pedro. But again, I don't know if the midfield was actually that interesting, but Estavio pulled a man of the match performance. So.
Yeah, that was good. And that takes us now to the next game, the game that started the whole weekend, which was Manchester at Tottenham Stadium in London. People always say, actually it was at the City Ground, Etihad Stadium. And people always say, somehow, Tottenham always get a win against Man City. And again, they were able to win 2-0.
I think in Pep Guardiola's career overall, Tottenham is one of the teams he has lost the most.
So can we call Pep's Fuji team Spurs?
But the thing is, to be honest, I am not a big believer in the historical events determining what is happening presently. I felt like City have a way of losing to Tottenham, but this particular game, Frank came with his own game plan. I'm going to give Frank his flower, regardless of whatever historical thing. Even as a Manchester City fan, I feel like, because today on Premier League Instagram profile, I was still even seeing they were showing the tackles, Tottenham tackles against Manchester City, and you can just tell the hard work, from his setup.
That's Putin, right?
The 3 defensive midfielders, that's me giving Tottenham their own flower and giving Frank their flower first before touching on my own team. I feel like it's an underwhelming performance from us because as soon as we conceded, it felt like we just got lost. Everything just went flat, and it's not a performance. It was an embarrassing one for me because we didn't even threaten. We didn't look like scoring in the second half.
I think the issue for me when I saw the lineup was Pep. He didn't pick the right guys to start. Starting with Czechie, and that was the biggest mistake as we saw in the game. He could have kept the same lineup that started the game last week with Bernardo and Tijani, because that game happened that Tijani was now the one doing some things in front, doing other stuff in the back, and this guy was caught in a lot of mistakes as well. And then Mamouche had a great chance and then he missed it. And Haaland, in his usual way, if nothing is going good for City, God disappears. He missed one of them as well.
To be honest, one of the things I probably do not agree with is the lineup, because I was happy when I saw the lineup. Why was I happy? Because yes, Mamouche started the game. Mamouche is going to start big games for us this season, even after Tottenham.
I don't think the problem was Mamouche though.
I'm telling you the lineup. If you say the lineup is wrong, those are the things that changed.
Had one of the worst. That was the worst first half. Man City first half.
Bro, Silva came into the game and Silva 2 was worse. See, the thing is,
the game at that point now. All these things, right? You don't capitalize on the mistakes that Spurs were making. You didn't take the chances when they finally showed up. And then when it goes to the critical moments that, okay, now let's do things. City
Newcastle lost 2-0 today with 10 men, and they came back 2-2. So that City was
That's
losing when they brought Silva.
mentality
That's
is
not an excuse. No. So Manchester City's mentality is
you
lower
guys.
than Newcastle's mentality.
The thing of it is, you guys do not have the right people
Yes.
to actually make the fight back on the pitch, on the field
Yeah.
of.
So it's not about lineup because the thing is, Czechia is going to have to find a way to start someday soon. Silva is
But
leaving this
Turkey is
team
not that
again
guy
next season.
yet. He's not.
Silva
Turkey
to
is not that
improve.
guy.
They all improved themselves, bro. They flopped
Yet.
together. This is not
Well,
a matter
no,
of lineup.
let's leave your team.
They
Let's leave
all
your team
flopped
alone.
together.
For an opposition fan, is a good start for City for me. I love it, and I hope
And
it
I like the
continues
fact
that way.
I like the fact that you're also topping the table, favorites.
We're
Tonight.
talking. I don't think
Okay.
and I take us to the next team. The pride of London, the pride of England, Mama Charlie's own team, the Arsenal Football Club of London.
The
And
favorite, the league leaders, the
I
table
don't,
topper.
yeah, I don't understand the favorite that you're shouting, but Arsenal plays against Leeds United. If they didn't win, I don't know what would have happened. Right there.
And then your
Them
Corey
won
scored 2 goals,
5-0.
Avi.
Gyökeres scored 2 goals. Arsenal lost Saka. Arsenal lost Odegaard
The
in
first
the
striker to
game
score
as well.
penalty goal.
He does. I don't even care if he scores handball.
I'm hating him now.
What matters to me is what happened in the review. Like looking at the game itself, I think one thing I'm gonna say is Gyökeres need to find a way to play with the team. I know he was able to get 2 goals, one of them a penalty, which I'm not going to even focus on. But his one goal that he scored came from a long ball from the back that got to him, and then he was able to carry the ball into the box and do his own thing. He will need to do a lot of that going into the season. If he hopes he's going to sit in the box and the ball is just going to come to him, the guy is going to suffer. Because looking at what again,
when most of it, we all belong to different school of thoughts.
Mhm.
I don't quote those of you that belong to the school of thoughts that striker needs to go out to the box and go and look for the ball themselves.
we don't believe
I don't belong to that school of
I
thought.
think you're getting it wrong.
And I will never belong to that school of thought.
Strikers need to go out to go and get the ball.
And so why are you saying he needs to do a lot of that to score goals?
The setup you're playing in matters. The setup has not plays.
So which setup requires that a striker needs to go and go and be looking for his goal?
Then you should go and play for a Newcastle or go and play for Manchester United.
No, it will be here.
So
so that goal, the way he scored his goal, that's how he will need to be scoring goals. To go and be looking for goals.
He will get a lot of goals inside the box. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of things,
people are topping the table. My mouth is sealed.
It doesn't matter now.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? Let me ask you a question. Give me 2 strikers. Since we've been watching football, that they always have to go and fetch their goal from outside the box.
You're getting it wrong. You're focusing on
because I don't get what.
See, we're gone at the days of one striker will sit in the days of Mr. Henry, all of the even Callum Wilson or Woods. If Woods were Arteta cannot buy a player like Woods. When Arsenal was saying, and when there was rumors that Arsenal was going to buy that Brentford striker, Tony, I said one thing, and I keep saying it. So Arteta will not buy Tony, and it's just because of the kind of profile of a player that he is, that he still is. Yeah. When he was going to buy Gyökeres, I said one thing as well. I'm like, most of the goals Gyökeres scored, thankfully, they were not all from him sitting in the box. He actually carried a lot of those balls on a long journey to score. And that was the kind of profile I was looking at. This is why Arteta had to settle for him when he couldn't get Sesko. Now he has come to the league. First game against Manchester United, people were complaining that he touched his air more than chances that he had in the box because ball was not coming in for him. Against Leeds United, first half, balls were not coming into the box for him as well. Everybody was like, no matter how much cut back Saka make.
I think that's his fault because he needs to go.
I'm not saying that's his fault. I'm saying it's the setup he's playing in. Mikel is not going to
problem with you saying it's the setup. What I'm saying is you're not getting me, which is why I took my time to listen to you. What I'm saying is you're saying if he wants to prosper in Arsenal, like that first goal he scored, he needs to find a way to keep going and fetch his goal. And I said, give me 2 strikers that fit what you're describing.
And fetch his goal. I'm saying he's going to Ozu for goals. He will have to be ready to Ozu for goals. He's not going to get everything from sitting inside the box. He will get goals sitting inside the box, but he will get a lot of goals from him coming from outside of the box, like yesterday too. It's as simple as that.
I feel like that's your opinion, but I feel like The way
That's
you've
your opinion
noticed.
of 2 games.
I
Start
think
from
we've
2 games.
noticed, yeah, I think we've noticed the same thing. We've noticed the same thing, but we just have different opinion. I've
Mm.
noticed that it wasn't served properly. And I think that Ateta needs
He's
to
not going to
work
get
on.
served properly.
I don't
It's
know
as
what I'm saying.
simple
It's
as
just
that.
opinion. It's just opinion we're sharing. It's not like any of us have seen the future. What I'm saying, because I believe that I've seen strikers with. See, Pep Guardiola did not used to play with striker before. He played with
Mm-hmm.
Messi as first time play. The first real striker, box to box striker that Pep had to settle with after Ibrahimovic didn't work was Lewandowski. And Pep had to rewrite how it works. When you get strikers, even when Alan came to Manchester City, Pep also had to do things differently. We've had Jose Mourinho, we've had Ancelotti. When you get strikers, I'm not saying you still need to get the ball. You need to work on getting the ball to them.
I'll
They need
keep
to
telling
find a way.
you. Mikel
But
Arteta
anyways, let's not sweat over it.
is
If
not. Arteta
John
is
said Pep
stubborn.
Guardiola, I've mentioned different coaches. Even if he's
He's,
stubborn or not,
the
see,
beginning is game 2.
Nay,
We'll
nay,
talk, we'll talk about
nay,
it again.
let's not sweat
He's,
about it. Let's go to another team. But my own is I've noticed it. The team needs to find a way to
the team
supply it, get
is the
supplies to
parents
him.
need to find a
They
way
need to get
to play
supplies
with
to
the
him.
team. It's as simple
But
as
if
that. But
but if you
anyway,
say he needs to go fetch his goal, fine.
moving on.
Let's
Moving
move to
on.
another team.
This next game we're going to move to is a game of the Fulham versus Manchester United. I ended 1-1. The game was a lot of we played better, we played good game, but we still did not win. We came away with a draw. For me, I still think Amorim is as rigid as last season. So far, I've been looking at. Okay, I'll tell you a couple of stats. Looking at what he has done
There are a lot of interesting
since he
stats
came
from the game.
into the league, and I feel like if it doesn't change, that's going to continue. In the last 6 games that Manchester United has played, competitive games, not including friendlies or whatever, in the last 6 games that they've played, including the Fulham game, right? They said they in just one of those games has United managed to score
In the
in
last
just
6 games.
in the last 6 games, and then when they play Fulham, that made it the second game that they were going to score. The last game they scored was against Aston Villa when Villa got red card last season and they won 2-0. Yesterday they played 1. Okay, that's one start for you. I'll give you a chance to comment on this Uncle Murray and Manchester United. Another one is the start of April 2025. Manchester United have collected fewer points than any present Premier League club. Leicester City, that is currently playing in Championship, has gotten more EPL points than Manchester United since April. That's another start. Now, this one, only one player has created a big chance for Manchester United this season.
It's just
Only
2 games,
guess who that
anyways.
player is.
Even their goalkeeper, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Their goalkeeper.
I'm sure because I saw something like that. And I think maybe the stats that you also have not added is the fact that they've said in 29 games now, Manchester United have not scored in the first half. But you see, all of these things are pointing to the same thing. And again, there's something everybody has been saying, so there's no gospel truth. It's not a gospel truth. Again, people are saying, I think, and let me say something, Nayo. I feel like Amorim has stylishly set himself up and is trying to be stubborn to prove a point.
And not change,
That's what
right?
that's what I think psychologically. Because when Amorim came, I think the way he set himself up was that when he came into the league, I think right from his press conferences, he said it's here to play this structure.
Yeah, and it was
And
like,
this is
that's the
what it
reason why they came for me.
and then, yeah, that's the reason why they came from. So you know the way one thing he's not used to is English press. The way English press were coming. So every game week they will come to him and say, "Oh, what do you now think about your game plan? Are you thinking of changing it?" You know, as a man, man, ego and everything, he would always respond to them and say, "Oh, we are working on it. We're not going to change. We're not going to change it." So the press gave asked him that question. The setup has been there. He has committed to saying, "This is what I want to do. This is why the team brought me here. This is why the board brought me here. I'm not going to change it." And for that very fact, he himself has not sat down to say, "I am not God. It's only God that don't repent."
So are you
I
saying it's
can
because
also,
G?
I can also repent. I don't know if you understand. See, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You are a man. As a man, players are human beings. So you probably have a theory. You probably have a theory in your head. Yes, you probably have a theory in your head that you feel like it's going to work. You have an idea. But you are dealing with human beings and looking at the situation, you should be able to react to the situation and feel like, okay. Because one thing he doesn't know is this. In Premier League, people, this is no hype. People feel like the Premier League is the biggest league in terms of money, funds, and assets that are thrown into the league. So all Premier League teams, they
More
have
focused on Premier
analysts.
League. Yeah.
They have analysts. They have
Yes.
analysts. I mean, they analyze your games in depth. So what he doesn't understand is you committing to say, this is how I want to play. You make it easy for your opponent. It doesn't mean that he's not going to win games. Definitely, they are going to win their next 2 games because they are going to play Grimsby in Carling Cup, and then they're going to play Burnley
What
at Old
if
Trafford.
Grimsby beat them?
No. I can tell you, they're gonna win that. So he's gonna win that game. He's gonna win Burnley. I'm sure. I can tell he's at Old Trafford.
What if
But
Burnley beat them?
I can tell you, we'll be here. He will win that
He's
game.
doing
Those are those,
you're saying it like
those are the games he's going to win. But the problem is the people that can analyze
you
your
know
game and have the
he has
muscles.
not won 2 consecutive. Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to do it now. He's going to do Grimsby Burnley. Because there's Stanley Cup and there's Burnley. But my point is, those that have the muscle to analyze
mm.
your game and bring it to you, they will do it because you've made it easy for them to say, this is how I'm going to set up. I feel
Yeah,
like
I do.
they're still going to score goals because he has Sesko, Umbramo, Kuna, Bruno. These are quality players. So there will be days where their quality will speak for them.
But all those people were on the pitch. They were on the pitch against Fulham and they still could not
No,
do much.
that's why I said there are days, there will be days where their quality will speak for them.
Or
But the
is it in the
problem is
field?
that, yeah, so there will be games that you will see that maybe because of Bruno brilliance or Kuna's brilliance or Sesko's brilliance, they will win that game. It goes. But the problem
Mm.
is consistently, team knows how you want to set up. Most times you
I
will suffer. You will suffer.
I do agree with a lot of things that you said about Manchester United and the fact that the manager is very rigid and he has refused to change. And I keep saying this thing even before the splurge and the bought in Buemo and Kona. I said it last season. United players, the formation that fit them perfectly. The players that he had last season, the formation that fit them perfectly was 4-2-3-1. This season again, the players that he has on his hand, the formation that fit them perfectly is still 4-2-3-1. But because his Ogban is very, very rigid and he has refused to change,
Is this
he refused to
team? He
even
has coaching
explore.
badge.
He refused
Do
to
you have a
explore any
coaching
other
badge?
formation.
Do you have
Yes, I
coaching
have
badge?
vaccine now. I have
Have you
vaccine
have
given
you
by the United.
have you won Portuguese league?
Hold on.
Have you
I
won
have
Portuguese
vaccine
league
given
before?
to. That's what I always say. But Portuguese league is just one
Have
of.
you won Portuguese league before? Have you managed
I
a
have
Champions
vaccine
League game
coaching
before?
badge given
Have
to
you
me by the
beaten
United
have you
States Football
beaten
Federation.
Spurs before?
It does. So Pep is the yardstick now. You know, Megas Ateta herself don't beat his boss.
Me,
What are
I'm
you
giving
saying?
you I'm giving you criteria or
But
CV.
wait, before you move away from United, remember I said one thing to you at the beginning of the season that United will prosper as long as Bruno is not a crybaby. There was a moment in that game yesterday when they had a penalty and the ref lightly brushed him. And then you've heard what Bruno said about after the game about his routine and everything and how he missed a PK and whatever. And he said he's not going to blame the ref for missing the PK. But if they had
Yeah,
scored that penalty,
it's
he would
just
have
trying to
won.
say it's just probably just trying to say he didn't find it funny actually, and he felt like he deserved an apology for what the ref has done. I don't know how apology works in football. I don't know if ref do apologize to player actually or they don't apologize to player actually, but I just felt like I just know that Bruno has said what he has said, but the key point is you've lost the penalty. But Bruno, you are my guy. You know I like you, but
I saw a
you've
lot
lost the
of memes
penalty.
online of
I
people
just
showing their broken glass from Bruno's
let
penalty.
I just let it go because trust me, I don't know. Ref apologizing to you. If you had scored, you wouldn't have demanded an apology if you had scored a
Abi.
penalty. So
Anyway, so moving to our final game of the week that we're going to review is a game that just finished against Newcastle Liverpool. A very,
interesting
very,
one.
very interesting game. From
Yeah.
Liverpool jumped to 2 goals ahead, one man down for Newcastle. They came back, drew the game, but in the last minute, towards the end of the game, they still lost it. The
You know
game
what
was
makes it
interesting for both teams,
You know
but
that makes it, before we go into the details, thinking
mm,
about it now, that's exactly 3 consecutive games that Liverpool have now conceded 2 goals.
yeah, their
So
defense, competitive game is that.
Against Crystal Palace, they scored first, they conceded 2 goals. Against
Mhm.
Bournemouth, they scored first, they conceded 2 goals. In fact, I think they scored two goals. I think against, if maybe I'm not sure of Crystal Palace, but I'm sure of Bournemouth and I'm sure of
Palace community.
yeah, they scored 2 goals first too, right? And
Did
then,
they?
but I know Crystal Palace came from behind anyway. So Crystal Palace came from behind with 2 goals. Bournemouth came from behind with 2 goals.
That's true. Palace actually came from behind.
Newcastle too with 10 men came from behind with 2 goals. Is it a cause? Is it a pattern? What do you think?
I think their luck will finish at some point. From last season they've been riding that luck of they are able to end the game and still get a point and get 3 points out of the game or get 1 point out of the game.
Yeah.
I think when you face teams like Arsenal, Man City, or even Manchester United, because Manchester United has found a way to actually get points off Liverpool.
Yeah,
But
they're
like
gonna face Arsenal next week.
they are facing Arsenal.
You will do it for us
So
now.
if that and Arsenal is able to come back, Liverpool is not winning that game. That one sure. That one sure. Dude has not said anything about the guy. I think he only said something about Saka because he's gonna be out for longer. That will give Arsenal an opportunity to move. What's his name?
But
To the right.
before we go, we're still coming back to Liverpool game. Do you think Eze will start if Odegaard doesn't play?
If Eze will start whether Odegaard plays or not.
No, I mean because considering the fact that he probably will just have his maybe first training section this week with the boys. So that's what I'm asking. No,
but luckily for him, he had a good preseason and he had played a couple of games for Palace. So it won't be as hard for somebody that never had a preseason or wherever. The only thing that they will focus on is how to integrate Eze into the squad or the training session that they're going to do this week.
Let's go back into the.
He's able to come in. But yeah, but Liverpool continue to work. I think it will come to a point where that luck is going to run out and they're going to lose points.
You know another thing I want to talk about to you about. Trust me. See, please, it's game 2, but the good thing is our review is week in, week out. So let's talk about it week 2. Let's talk about Liverpool signings, for example, and I'll tell you why. Ekitike, for example, is shining. Ekitike has scored now in 3 competitive games that he has played. He has scored against Crystal Palace. He has scored against Bournemouth, and again he has scored another goal against Newcastle. But let's forget about goal. This is not about stats. We can't say the same for Vit and Kakes. Just 2 games. What's your take from what you've seen?
Just 2 games.
Just 2 games.
You know, last time we spoke about Kekes, and I think he was actually at fault for one of the goals again today. For me, I think they need to get back to starting Robertson. As for Width, maybe there's a mental block in his brain that is letting how much they bought him for him to be playing crap. But he needs to step up soon, or Liverpool is going to suffer for it a lot. But so far, he's not been that guy that they thought they were getting. He's not been. So hopefully he finds a way to step up. Hopefully he finds a way to change his game. But we'll see.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to say anything about it yet. I would love to watch Arsenal game. Let me watch Arsenal game again. Because the thing is, it's too early to conclude about him, but I was waiting to just see some glimpse. You know, I bought it was in my, for you to know.
Again, it was in my game today. It was like it wasn't on the field as well.
Yeah, it was in my FPL week 1 game. I had to take him out because what I saw against Bournemouth, I didn't see the glimpse. In Newcastle again, sometimes some players you see glimpse. Sometimes some players have not settled, but maybe from some things you see, you feel like, oh, this guy, I think very soon something great is going to happen. I've not started getting that vibe from him, like something great is going to happen very soon.
Something good needs to come soon.
Yeah,
that's something good needs to come soon.
But for Newcastle, for me, I think they had a proud moment, even if they lost. It was a proud game. I think it's a game that if I'm a manager, I would feel so odd because they were so close. They were so close. But again, it's a game that brought a certain spirit out of them. 10 men, 2 goes down, go all out there and get 2-2, and you were close to getting a draw against Liverpool. Bro, I feel like, what do you think? Do you think the 3-2 is going to dampen that spirit, or do you think they're going to vibe?
I don't think so. I think they need to get a striker. If they get a striker, I think everything is going to start clicking in for them. Because maybe if they had a striker against Newcastle today, towards the end of the game, there were some chances that they got that they couldn't take, and whatnot. They need to also resolve Isaac issue, because whether they like it or not, that is eating into the head of everybody, all the players and everything as well. They need to sort it out and find a way to either sell him or reintegrate him back into the squad by fining him, whatever they need to do. Anything they need to do, They need a striker.
While we're still talking about Isaac, as a striker that is missing, now they have possible 3 players that's going to miss their next game. Gordon has gotten a red card. Jolinti finished the game injured, and then this their defender Scar also finished the game injured. Yeah. So that's 3 guys that would most likely miss the next game. What do you think? I think the next game is against Leeds.
Hopefully it's not bad. Yeah, hopefully the injury is not bad, but based on the team they are playing next, I think they will be able to win that easily. But I'm hoping after that the injury is not as bad and all their players come back and they come back good. Because Newcastle
Yeah.
is always an interesting team that you can count on to take points off the big boys. So we'll see.
Again, before we wrap up this week review, we've touched about something, but there's something I want us to just look
Mhm.
at across all teams. So I'm going to give you a list now just to show you. In Arsenal, and the last game, Odegaard went down, Saka went down. For Manchester City, Aït-Nouri went down. For Liverpool, Frimpong is also out. In Newcastle game, I've also counted two guys for you that are also out. What is it with
Mhm.
these injuries that's happening this early season? It's just match day two and we are having like one, two, three players in different teams. I mean, even the top teams going down already. What's happening? What do you think? What do you think? Are you linking it to anything, or it's just normal?
Saka's injury was a freak one, so I won't link that one to anything.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have Palmer to my list. I didn't have Kowick to my list.
Oh, for a player like Palmer, I would think maybe he's from all the games he played, he didn't have that much rest. They went to Club World Cup and then they came back. For Liverpool, no, for City, I don't remember if Atnuri played for you guys at Club World Cup or not, but I think fatigue it has a lot to do with all these things. And then too many games, too many training times. Back in the days, they used to take days off training and everything. Now, with more money in football, with more broadcasting, more stuff that this player needs to get involved with, in the net, we are going to be seeing plenty injuries moving. Like from last season to this season, the number of injuries would have surpassed five if we count 5 seasons together in the last 6 years. So, and I think that's the way it's going to continue to go, except
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
freak ones that just happen off. So,
I agree
I
with
don't know.
you. And the only thing I can say after this happening, just after week two, because after week two, with what I've counted, I think
It's
all the
too early
top
for
teams
players to be going
I
down.
think all the top team has at least two players down. And what I can say is I feel like squad depth is the answer. Quality depth.
But buy as many players as you can. That's what Mikel is trying to do now. Now he's
Because I
going
don't
for another
see
defender now.
I don't see any other way around it. But guys,
Yeah.
that's it for us today on match day two review of the 2025-2026 Premier League season. And guys, just wait, and it's getting more interesting. Premier League is getting interesting. Next week we'll be having Liverpool, Arsenal. You will get the review from us here. That's on the big games. You would also get a review of other games. Hopefully, I'm hoping I'll be here smiling, and my co-host won't be smiling as much as possible. Maybe a draw, I don't know, or maybe they lose. I would really take any one of that. But anyways, guys,
This
what I'm
one,
trying to say is
this one I
just stay
hate
with
to.
us, stay safe till we come back next week, and I'm telling you
I
that
see.
Arsenal are finally lost. Bye.